Uh-oh. That's better. Welcome back, friends. It's Anders. Today, we're making the Trinidad Sour, which is very unique because it calls for Angostura aromatic bitters as its base spirit. Other cocktails like the margarita, you can use any tequila. Manhattan, you can use any whiskey, but the Trinidad Sour calls specifically for Angostura aromatic bitters. That's the Trinidad in Trinidad Sour. I'll get into it later. I am not sponsored or affiliated with Angostura bitters. Some of you have been wondering, but I've been using it for a number of years, and it's great. I love it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more sips, tips, and recipes. And let's go make the Trinidad Sour to the bar. Also, I don't actually keep a case of Angostura bitters behind my bar. I just found this box and put a bottle in it. I'm gonna say it, this drink is a contemporary classic. It was created in 2009 by Giuseppe Gonzalez, and he created this drink for a cocktail competition. He didn't win, probably should have, because it is a glass full of joy. It didn't win, I don't know what won, but I hope it was incredible. It must have been. The Trinidad Sour was inspired by another Angostura-based cocktail, which was created a year earlier in 2008, called the Trinidad Especial, and that actually did win a cocktail competition. These drinks are extremely similar. The biggest difference is that the Trinidad Especial calls for pisco, and the Trinidad Sour uses rye. Otherwise, they're both sweetened with orgeat, brightened with citrus, and they both have a very heavy hand of Angostura bitters. Now, for those of you wondering, yes, Angostura bitters has alcohol in it. It's actually 44.7% alcohol by volume. That's nearly 90 proof, and it's got big, bold flavors. A little bit of it can go a long way. In other cocktails, just a dash too much and it will overpower. But personally, I find that if you have it on its own, it's actually rather balanced. It's not too bitter, it's not too spicy, certainly not too sweet. I think it's great for a base spirit. But what I really love about this cocktail is Giuseppe does not give any strict ratios or measurements to how to make a Trinidad Sour. He leaves it up to us as the bartenders to balance it out as we see fit and garnish it however we'd like. Actually, I don't think he garnishes his at all. And in most cases, I would agree with that. I don't like garnishes on cocktails, not all cocktails, unless it's really necessary. Saying that, I'm going to garnish this cocktail with mint, but it will be necessary. Anyway, a Trinidad Sour, as long as you use the appropriate ingredients, no matter what the ratios are, you can still call it a Trinidad Sour, which if you think about it, that's how a lot of classic cocktails are. You go to one bar, you have a Manhattan, you go to another bar, it's gonna be a little different, but they're both Manhattans. So I think that was a smart move on Giuseppe's part. Now that we are all thoroughly excited about this cocktail, the booze. We are gonna need bitters, rye whiskey, fresh lemon juice, and orgeat. The bitters I'm using is Angostura aromatic bitters, and the rye is Rittenhouse 100 proof rye. We already talked about the bitters. Angostura bitters, that's what it has to be. There's really no substitute in this cocktail. But for the rye, I'm using a 100 proof rye. I would say at least 100 proof. I want something that's gonna hold up to the strong bitters. But if you have a favorite rye, especially if it has good spice, it's gonna fend for itself and it's gonna be great in this cocktail. Lemon juice, keep it fresh. This makes it a sour, and orgeat. I would say use a quality orgeat if you have a favorite. Otherwise, if you need a homemade recipe, which this is, check out my video on syrups. Easy, delicious. Let's build. Into the shaking tin. I'm gonna start with, normally I would start with the base spirit because that's how my brain works. But I'm gonna put in a heavy hand of orgeat and I wanna rinse out the jigger. So I'm gonna do a full ounce of orgeat, and next the bitters. So everybody open up your big bottle of bitters. You're gonna want a big bottle, otherwise you're not gonna get many cocktails out of the little one. And we've got the little stopper on top. Take that off, save this, we'll put it back on. We're gonna match the orgeat, so 1 ounce of Angostura bitters. Now before we forget, let's put that little stopper top back on. Dashing without it is a mess. Now the rye, 1/2 ounce. That's it. We're just gonna get a little bit of spice from the rye. If you wanna add more, feel free. Lemon juice, 3/4 ounce. Now if you look at the build, I'm doing more sweetener than sour, so it's not a traditional build. However, because we're using Angostura bitters, we need that extra sugar to balance it out. Trust me, try this, it's gonna be good. Now we can add ice and shake. Do I even need to ask? I hope you have your glassware chilling. Unless you don't like your cocktail in a chilled glass. It'll be served up. Let's give it a shake, about 10 seconds. I'm really excited about this cocktail. Okay, grab your chilled glassware, and then we can double strain right into the cocktail glass. I'm gonna garnish with a little bit of mint. This is not called for in any other recipe that I've seen, but I like it on there. And I also recently got these little itty bitty clothespins. Meep, meep. I'll leave a link down below. Hopefully they don't crush my glass, we'll see. But the idea is we're gonna have strong mint nose, which will just complement the bitters. Give them a little tap, wake them up. 3 mint leaves, clip them at the edge of the cocktail glass. Kind of has this Robin Hood thing going on. The Trinidad Sour. Cheers. Mint. I like Angostura bitters, no secret, but the way this is balanced out with the sweet almond, the bright citrus, and you get the spice from the bitters, but also a rye spice from the whiskey. It just works really, really well together. And I like the mint on the nose. This might be one of my favorite unorthodox cocktails. Big flavor, but still very refreshing. Oz, would you like a sip?
Yes, please. Oh, that's really good.
Isn't it?
Mint actually really helps.
It does, right? It keeps it nice and refreshing because you are working with big, bold flavors. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll see you next time. Cheers. I think the mint helps immensely. Immensely.